Hey, everybody. Welcome into the show today. We've got a very special guest. Reggie Alcantar is going to be here with us, and he's going to be talking about his processes, how he's becoming so successful in an industry that seems to just make it harder and harder on people because of the way that they're doing things. And we're going to talk about the right way to do it and the way that Reggie's doing it. We're going to crack into the show. So let's talk about it. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the show once again. It's funny. I don't even know what to call this show at this point. It's like we never named it. So it's just Arturo Johnson Consulting, and we're here with guests, and we talk about the process that they're going through to kind of achieve what they've started to achieve and continue to achieve, before and especially after coming aboard the Arturo Johnson Consulting program that they're a part of. So I want to welcome to the show, Reggie. Thank you so much for being here with us today, man. I just appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me here, Earl and Arturo Johnson and the family. It's good to be here.
Man, that's awesome. Reggie, one of the things that I always like to get into with our guest is, their why. Why are they doing what it is that they're doing as far as being in the life insurance industry? Can you give us a little backstory in regards to, when you got into it first? So first when, and then how and why. So tell us that story.
Okay. Yeah. So I got in this industry about 4 to 5 years, 4.5 years ago. Um, I didn't know anything about insurance, so I didn't really have a general why. I just more like wanted to transition to a career line to have a different financial layout for my future. And I started asking some basic questions, as in like what this industry is about, because I didn't know as much of the industry at all. I was very illiterate when it came to like just basic stuff from your car insurance to your home insurance to even life insurance. So to make it short, I started learning a lot about the industry. I like the financial side of the industry with life insurance, annuities, and the different umbrellas that that part of the industry falls under. So I fell in love with that. So that's when it started creating that different why for my family and I, in the sense of there's opportunities here we could build teams. There's opportunities where you could actually have a pretty good substantial financial living when it comes to like the future, for generation wealth and things of that nature. Um, so as I started figuring this industry out a little bit, playing around, I definitely know you definitely need clients to help you out
Mm.
to get where you want to go. You can't just do it on your own. You definitely need some support. And warm market, it dries up really quick. So to get to my why, and also, heading down a certain road that I want to go financially, I definitely needed certain support to do that. So I have partnered up with a company that has team building, which that works for me to get that route, going for me. And it also, I recognize on my own personal pin. Um, I'm very strong believer to write on my own personal pin for a while, in the sense to get me to where I want to go financially and for my family. So the whys have definitely changed. The core of what you have to do has not changed for me, which is if you're blessed with 2 feet on the ground and you roll your sleeves up, you can make the day as much as you possibly can make of it. So yeah, it's just there's a lot of things that have changed since the time I initially started to the time I've been here, and also evolving with the industry itself to get to where I want to go. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, when you talk about family and the support, what does that look like for you? Like, is your wife involved in the business? Brothers, sisters? Like,
Yeah,
how does that support work for you?
yeah. So I'll be honest with you, my wife was anti-insurance. To be straight with you on this call, she was anti-insurance in the sense of not knowing what I knew and
Hmm.
what I've gone to know. And she just looked at it as in just, the typical 9 to 5, which that is just not the case.
Oh gosh, no.
Uh, no, and so she has developed, to be fair, she's developed a different respect because I have developed a different respect for the industry, and by showing her what this is about, by not just showing the results, but the work ethic behind it, day in and day out, of what it takes to become a top producer or even
Yeah. How does
a
that, having the supportive spouse is important, right?
yeah.
Very, very important. For a man, for a woman, that support is one of the key things with that. How is it different now than when you first started with, how your spouse sees you, how your family sees
Yeah,
you? I see you smiling, so it's
yeah, yeah. This is yeah. It to kind of back it up a little bit for those who are in this part of the industry where you feel like, man, is this the right choice for me? Maybe I don't feel that sense of support that I would like to probably have at this initial moment when you're going on your new venture or even
hmm.
journey right now. I had all that. I just want to let you know that I was that. I had every single little part of that doubt or maybe unsupport situation that maybe some feel. But I'll be honest with you, the big turnaround for me, honestly, is consistency, going through the trial and error of the business, hitting it straight on, looking forward to failing forward, because those are the greatest lessons that you can be taught
Yeah.
and you can learn from them. And from that situation to show the grit of not quit, that also shed light to my spouse in the sense of like understanding like, okay, he's going through some trials and some tribulations, but he ain't quitting, and also the bills are getting paid.
Hey, we can't
That's
forget
really
that.
important. Yeah, that's kind of important too. So, but it is, Earl, to touch at the end of that question. It is just different now. My wife is on the verge now, in the crossroads of retiring,
Wow.
and I'm not scared to say where she works. She works for a district attorney's office where she gets paid a significant amount. So we're blessed in that way. But now she's in the crossroads at a young 40 years young of possibly retiring. So we are in a different leverage of financial
I
position
mean,
based
as
off.
a husband, what does that make you feel like to look at the possibility that is a real possibility that what you're doing is going to allow your wife that type of freedom? What does that bring up in you?
Oh, it brings a sense of responsibility right off the bat, and I'm very proud of getting to where we have. It definitely pushes me a lot more to
Hmm.
not take the foot off the gas. I definitely got to even step it up 100 notches, not even 10x, and 100 notches. Because if I don't, my wife is Latin, so she's Mexican. She'll definitely catch me when I'm asleep if things ain't going right.
Yeah. Hey, mija, mija,
Yeah, there's a sense, there's a sense of
or
pressure.
mijo, rather. Yeah, you can tell I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but that's a show for another day. When you've talked about keeping your foot on the gas and doing things which you've always done. You've had that foot on the gas because of that work ethic that you have. Can you talk to us for a minute about what it is that you were dealing with that actually even caused you to look at Arturo Johnson Consulting? What were you going through? What were those challenges that you wanted to have fixed?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as you start getting to feel the lay of the land, you start figuring out, yes, this is the people's business in the sense that we need people to actually make money, right, and help and serve. But the biggest challenge I started running into is it's not that you're coming to a wall of a sense of leads, because there's an abundance of leads.
Hmm.
I want to really more control that sense of abundance and have a different sense of quality where it's going to actually help me create time to do other things that I had to do in the management standpoint, as a family standpoint, or it just as an individual where I need that time. So Arturo Johnson running into that situation, I have played around with companies that actually have not. I'm not going to put Arturo Johnson out of respect in the other sense of, other, not even competitors, but just kind of like trying to copycat the system. But what I'm trying to get to is this: is I like the actual layout of the Arturo Johnson programs because it does help me develop freedom, and it's very premature of how I'm starting right now with Arturo Johnson. So to have
Mm.
that quick response for me, and I haven't, to be honest with you, worked them the way I like to work certain things. I know the road is looking really, really bright for me.
You know, speaking of that, like, what does that process look like for you as far as when you're talking about getting that freedom? How is what we've been able to show you how to do because of what we've put together? How is that in actual practice? What does that look like?
Yeah, in actual practice, what that actually looks like is this. Um, so I don't have to worry about debating with the lead company, uh, like certain leads that do trickle in, and worrying about the discrepancies with Arturo Johnson's program. I don't have to worry about that. When I have to worry about, okay, this is missing, that's missing, or why is this coming like this, and there's like tons of like fundamental, like, issues when we're being distributed leads, that takes away a lot of time for what I need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you straightforward right now, Earl. My talks with like Jack in particular are very minimal, and that's the way I like it because
Yeah.
I get to feel good. Because all I gotta do is what happens here is I get a distribution of a lead and I go to work. That's all I care about, and that's where I play good at.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
Awesome. That's amazing. I mean, when you have this type of system set up and the amount of clients that we have using the same exact system that you're using and they're getting these same type of results, it's one of those things where, and I always tell people, the only thing that matters is results. It's like that is the only thing that anyone is caring about. What are the results of this that I'm doing? And so, I mean, let's talk about some of those results because a lot of time the proof is in the pudding, right? And I can only imagine, in the just let's just talk about this month of December. It's already almost over. How much AP are you throwing up this month already by using this system?
Um, about 48 grand. Yeah, I'm up
Wow,
48,000. Yeah, and
that's I
yeah,
got to stop you right there. I got to stop you right there because when you say 48,000, do you understand how much people wish they had that testimony to say and what the work, but see, this doesn't come like by osmosis, right? You didn't get to 48K already in the month of December by sitting back on your heels. You're going after this. Tell
right.
us, tell us a little bit about it. What does that day look like for you where you're on the grind? Can you tell us what that looks like so people can
Yeah,
get a clear picture?
yeah, absolutely. Um, First off, it just starts with preparation. Before I even like get like I already know like the way the leads are coming in now. I know who the target is, so my mindset's already set up. And if my mindset is not prepared before even that lead even drops in, then that's just gonna throw me off. Okay,
Mm,
so I just practice a lot harder than I actually play. And what I mean by that is just my preparation of knowing like what the expectancies of what the clients are going to have questions of and also objections of. Also, I definitely know before I even go into an appointment, the things I'm going to do and the things I'm not going to do because I value my time a lot more than most. And so that helps me, that mindset preparation. And there's a lot of other things for another call, but that will help me maximize the Arturo Johnson's program. And also, it's a little, I get a little like, sidetracked a little bit too, not to go sidetracked on this part of the conversation, which is when I talk to people, I am expecting the worst because it's like if I from like a relationship, where I was
yeah.
like abused and I'm like expecting like, oh, I didn't sign up for this or I didn't do so I'm already on defense mode. Now, what's nice is now I could play to my skill set and abilities as a professional and not have that guard. as in when I entered the Arturo Johnson's program with my first setup of an appointment. So now I'm really, just to give people, this is a good nugget right here. I know that some people don't like that word, but like what it is like when you go in now, you're working on your skill set truly as a
Mm-hmm.
professional. What does that look like? Your speed, your value of time, of the things that you're actually telling people. You're going to have to condense what you think. You might have to say, no, it's not that deep. You have to condense everything you would say in a 30-minute appointment or an hour appointment. My mindset is condense it in 5 minutes to 15 minutes,
Mm.
because time is not on my side if I want to like produce at a high level, and if I want to convert many people within that hour.
So I mean,
So
what is your dial days like? How many dials are you doing in a day? Let's just kind of put it that way to set your appointments.
yeah, so the average dial days are averaging about 600 dials in a day. Okay, that's a dial day.
I want to make sure people hear that this man literally said 600 dials in a day, and I
Yeah,
hear this over and over and over from the people that are successful. And these 600 dials aren't 600 individual leads, right?
no,
They're right. These 600 dials are maybe out of 100, 200 leads that you have, and you're going back and dialing them over and over and over and over again. I've heard one person say, if you ever made 27 dials on a lead, you're not working. So, what's kind of your philosophy on that?
yeah. Everybody has their thing. Some like to do the three dials back to back, or I want to call them at least 3 to 9 times in a day. Uh, and I just don't have that. So for me, I don't know. I'm just calling like people at least like as many times as I can, as many times as the light allows me to, you know, and depending on time zones, out of respect a little bit. So I'll call someone an average, like back to back, like it could be anywhere from 4 to 12 times until I get my point across.
Mm.
And I think there has been a lot of great producers on this actual panel here with you guys, Earl, that say, what, I really don't care what they have to say, because most people who do answer, and they're not gonna like bite your head off.
Hmm.
It's fact. It's fact. If you guys are not listening to that, so I think if you a big tip to get away to give away and to stay consistent on with a lot of top producers, which I didn't just make this up. I've adopted myself, which is you got to get out of your own head, and you just got
Mm.
to make the calls. And once you get out of your own head and make the calls, you'll be surprised on the conversion rate or what you can do, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much for that. I mean, you've been in the program how long now? 2 months? 3 months?
Nah. It feels like, I don't know, a couple weeks, if that. I haven't
Exactly.
at
I was
all.
being kind of facetious
Yeah,
when I said, and to achieve these results is amazing. It's really good, and I'm so happy that especially being able to get your time back, which is so important. Because I know probably before you even came into this program, you've seen Arturo, you've seen me, you've seen other testimonial videos, and now people are going to see, what is Reggie's process? How did he do this? What would you be telling someone right now after knowing what you know about the, AJC program, and they're kind of on the fence, or they're like, is this for real? Because you were probably like that as well, when you initially saw us. What would you tell that person that is thinking about joining our program?
pull the trigger. That's it. It's really nothing. What's the thing with that, Earl? It's a great question, because I know most people who are looking at these videos. I was one of them, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at some of the videos like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like literally stopping it at certain time frames on on these videos to repeat it. Say, what did he just say, or what did she just say? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like visualizing. Okay, how's that going to work out for me? So to give some people, just some straight transparency, man. Just like I've been on this call, is just like I said, get out of your head. Even me, I get caught up sometimes in that. Just pull the trigger. It's one of those things where once you're here, you're gonna take a lot of great things out of it. In any system that you're part of, actually, there's always something you can learn. Not everything is all perfect, okay? And that's a cool thing about Arturo Johnson's program. They make it really hard for you. find some objections or discrepancies. And you know what? It's like I said, I was in a bad relationship with these other companies, and they're just making my life a lot easier. Where I feel pretty confident, a lot more than most programs, where I could just go to work,
Yeah.
and what it does for you. And I really really appreciate that from the program.
Man, well, I thank you for that, most definitely. And there are so many people out there that are on the fence. And Reggie, I just want to thank you for the time that you've taken, to have this conversation with me and to talk about your journey. And we're just looking so forward to everything that you're going to do out there, helping families, building teams so that they can help families and just getting the stuff done and keeping that foot on the gas. So I want to thank you personally for your time, for being here with our guests. So thank you so much for that. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, Earl, I appreciate you guys. You, Arthur Johnson, my boy Jack, who hooks it, and the team. I appreciate you guys letting me participate today.
Man, well, thanks so much. I definitely appreciate you, Reggie. Look, and I thank you, the guests that have been watching this, and I hope this has touched you in some way, shape, or form. And it's like whether or not you use our program, we're wishing you the best and just letting you know that there are some tools and resources that are out there for you that are at your disposal, and we have them here for you. Take a look at them. And if it makes sense to you, reach out to us. The program, it's not for everybody. It may not be for you. You may not be a good fit for us. We may not be a good fit for you. But until you make that call, until you make that commitment to say, you know what, I'm going to at least check it out, then a lot of things can probably change. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time.